Welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto, every single day. Apparently, Trump has a very big announcement, and it could be a Bitcoin announcement. Well, it's speculated that it's going to be a Bitcoin announcement. We still do not have the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve on a federal level. We have the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve on a state level in New Hampshire, and that's a promise that he made. He made a Bitcoin promise for a federal level, and it's not yet happened. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk about what's happening, all the good things. Also, to you guys, if you're not going to Bitcoin 2025, and you want to go, I've got a link, 10% off. Use code WendyO, save 10% off. They literally increase tickets all the time. I'll be there. A bunch of really cool people will be there. It'll be fun. It will be fun. And let's go ahead and do it. Let's go and do it. Also, we've got some Hedera news. I think we've got some XRP news too. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Do all the things. We have to give a shout out to the channel members. First off, shout out to my YouTube babes, my TikTok babes, my Rumble babes, my Twitch babes. But most importantly, the channel members. Good morning to Mr. R, to Roland, to Legend, to Soul, to Mr. John Germain on Memorex. Who else? Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, okay? Let's go ahead and get into it. There's lots of stuff happening. Actually, today's kind of a boring day. It's a boring day, but we're here. Why are we here? Because that's what we do. We show up. All right. Now, when we take a look at the crypto markets, Hex is up 18.4%. Congrats to the Hexicans. Stacks, STX, 11.1%. Zcash, Privacy Coin, 10.2%. Dino Coin, EOS, 15.2%. I think Zcash is probably up because of all the privacy stuff happening, because we're going to be getting a CBDC, and also, too, Europe's being really weird about these types of laws. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this message from President Trump. A big announcement is coming from Donald Trump. Social 5/6/2025, and it was posted. So it was posted yesterday. We don't know what it is. Even Grok doesn't know what it is. But apparently there is going to be, let's Grok it and see. It's fun Groking stuff to see stuff. All right. So basically he's hyping up announcements that are often led to unfulfilled promises, such as the repeatedly postponed infrastructure week. Ooh. And also, too, we are supposed to get a update on FOMOC, what they're going to be doing with the interest rates. I know Mr. Tom Crown is covering that, mixing. Send it to me when you see it. But another thing that happened yesterday, too, which this does directly impact the market, so we do have to get a little bit political here, is going to be this story over here. This is from China. China is ready to negotiate with the United States of America. Thank you so much to Mr. Lawrence for the $8 super chat. I appreciate you. But this is actually big news here. China came out and they said, based on full consideration of global expectations, China's interest, and the appeals of the U.S. business community and consumers, China has decided to agree to engage with the U.S. side. As China's lead on China-U.S. economic trade affairs, Vice Premier will hold talks with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent during his visit to Switzerland. This is going to occur from May 9th to the 12th. So we're going to have some more news about that. May 9th is tomorrow. Wonderful, fine, fantastic. We love it. So the reason why we're bringing this up and the reason why we're talking about it is because when we're talking about crypto and what's happening with that, the trade wars have really caused a big thing with it. Allegedly, there's some stuff sorted out. What's going on my face up here? What the heck? I don't know what's happening. But apparently there's that's what this big announcement can be. We really, really don't know. But at the same time, we do need to figure something out with the trade war and what's happening, because it is impacting the stock market. It's impacting inflation. It's impacting small businesses. It's impacting everybody. It's impacting people in both China and the United States of America. Now, with that being said, let's keep it going, because there's some more stuff over here. There's some more stuff. Also, yesterday, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve that was announced in New Hampshire, that didn't cause the price of Bitcoin to pump. What caused the price of Bitcoin to pump was the talks with China and the United States of America about the trade stuff, okay? About the trade stuff. Now, with that being said, let's go and take a look at the charts. So yesterday we had a really nice move we had a swing wick to 93,000, a close at 96.8, and then we had a retest earlier today at $97,000. However, we are back down now. Taking a look at the 4 hour is going to do a little bit more ping ponging, and we might see a little bit more downside. My personal thoughts is people got excited with the China US news that they are going to discuss trade. And unfortunately, Trump's announcement still hasn't been made, so we don't know exactly what it is, but we are waiting. We are watching to see what it is. But it's very much Justin Sun style. Is it going to be about Bitcoin? Probably not. Is it going to have something to do with trade or the U.S. economy? Probably. But at the end of the day, that does impact Bitcoin. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this chart over here. This is my one fun chart that I like to use to kind of show you where we're going. The fact that we are above $94,000, this or $95,000, this support line, great, fine, fantastic. And it does look like we might want to push a little bit higher, but at the same time, we're having trouble breaking above $97,000. And even this area over here, just 98, is going to be rough. So this is going to be a really, really, really long ride to break all-time high at $110,000. Ethereum had the Pectrum upgrade today. Apparently, I want to say it increased blob sizes. It's just going to make Ethereum work a little bit better. I haven't used Ethereum today, so I want to be able to tell you whether or not. I know gas fees have been lower, but it's primarily because there's not a whole lot of action on Ethereum. So we're not even able to break $1,800 resistance here with the Ethereum Pectra upgrade going live and going on without a hitch. I believe it was supposed to happen on the 9th, but it didn't happen today. So that's great, fine, fantastic, but this is not great for price action over here. Very, very, very range bad. Good morning, gorgeous Alexander. So it's pretty bad for price action. Now, when we take a look at Solana is kind of teetering on 146. Sui is in a downtrend. XRP is holding on pretty strong. And again, just as long as we won't break 201, we're good. Link bounce off support here at about 12.97, and ADA is trying to hold on and flip back above 67 cents, and HBAR is just kind of chilling between 17 and 15 cents. Now, this next story over here, of course, Michael Saylor has got to say something. So Michael Saylor says the Bitcoin industry is going to $200 trillion. Let's go ahead and listen to this clip, because why wouldn't we listen to his clip? It's a little bit ridiculous.
So what do we see? We see an industry that's growing from 2 trillion to 200 trillion. You know, when Bitcoin is a $200 trillion asset, what is it? Okay, well, it's still going to be smaller than equity and real estate and bonds. It's just going to be noticeable. It's the emerging global monetary asset. It is digital gold. It is 10 times better than gold, maybe 100 times better.
Okay, so this is the thing. I appreciate Michael Saylor's Bitcoin bullishness. I appreciate it. He is delusional, though. He's absolutely out of his mind. Absolutely out of his mind. Like, I get the bullishness. I get you want this thing to go to the moon, etc. And I get that you're making a lot of money off of Bitcoin, but really calling for a $200 trillion market cap just of Bitcoin is a little bit ridiculous. Okay, but of course it's Michael Saylor. That's what he's going to do. At this point, when I like to hear, when I hear Michael Saylor talking, one of the things that I like to think about that just, I view him as an entertainer just the same way I would as Jim Cramer. Is he a smart guy? Yes. Does he know how to run a business? Yes. Does he know how to leverage financial debt to acquire more of a finite asset? Yes, he's doing great there. But at the end of the day, he is just absolutely out of his mind. And you can just look at him more so as a entertainer when it comes to Bitcoin, not a financial advisor. Is Bitcoin bullish? Yes. Is Bitcoin going to do well? Yes. Is Bitcoin just a really dope asset? Yeah. But is it the end all be all? No, it's not. It's not. So he's absolutely out of his mind, but hey, we do need a Bitcoin bull. Now, Bitcoin payments company Strike Loans. So apparently Strike is going to launch Bitcoin-backed loans. It is, it's going to allow customers to buy, sell, and trade Bitcoin. The company is now giving loans to eligible customers who use their Bitcoin as collateral. Eligible U.S. customers can get 12-month loans starting at a minimum of $75,000, capped at $2 million. So this was announced by Jack Mallers today. Jack Mallers is a very well-known Bitcoin talking head. He is also the CEO of 21, which is a new Bitcoin treasury company that will be formed via SPAC merger with backing from Tether, Bitfinex, Cantor Fitzgerald, and SoftBank. They're basically going to do the same thing that MicroStrategy is doing. Another thing I want to say about this, when we are talking about we're talking about all these Bitcoin-backed loans. My biggest issue, are they available to retail investors? And this is my whole issue with the whole stablecoin thing happening. There's going to be products and services that are available because of stablecoins where people can earn passive income, and it's going to be a little bit more regulated than the stuff that we saw way back in the FTX days. Great, fine, fantastic. But you are not always able to have access to that unless you're an accredited investor. So all these laws and regulations don't impact us. So when we talk about Bitcoin-backed loans, which I think very dangerous because, again, there is a liquidation mark and they're tax triggering. If that happens, number one, it sucks, but number two, it needs to be available to everybody, because at the end of the day, you don't need to do traditional financial entities, which is exactly what these companies are. You can do DeFi on Aave or whatnot. But again, I'd have to say it because I think it's important. No one else is talking about it, and we matter. Now with Ethereum developers activate Petra upgrade with 11 changes to improve UX, validator ops, and layer 2 scaling. And Ethereum still was not able to break above $1,800. If anything, we dropped down a little bit. But let's get into it. So what is going on over here? What is going on with Ethereum? Let's see. So it includes 11 updates focusing on staking, user experience, and layer 2 scaling, like we need any more layer 2 scaling with Ethereum. Other changes improve data efficiency, security, and network performance. Petra prepares Ethereum for future upgrades like FUSAC. Ethereum co-founder Consensus Joseph Lubin, CEO Joseph Lubin, described Ethereum as having achieved nearly a decade of continuous uptime. He called the Petra upgrade a major step forward in building the foundation for a decentralized global system. Well, I mean, Solana is doing a lot more DEX volume. A lot more DEX volume, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Now, this next story over here, this is about XRP, and it is about Ethereum. This is from The Block. Coinbase reveals internal SEC conversations about XRP and an ask from NY to support Ethereum security claim. This is not good. Let's go ahead and get into this because this is not good. They basically want to call Ethereum a security now, which would not be good in any way, shape, or form at all. Because then maybe any single company that had an ICO, it constitutes as a security. We don't want that to happen. So Coinbase released over 10,000 SEC-related documents via FOIA. It's the Freedom of Information Act. The key points: SEC internally debated if XRP is a security in 2021 emails. And this is probably why the stupid case isn't over yet, because people just can't help themselves. NYAG office asked the SEC in 2023 to support the claim that ETH is a security in the Coinbase lawsuit. NYAG said Ethereum status wasn't central to their case, but a court ruling would help investor protection. Investigation under Gensler was later dropped. That's pretty interesting. And again, I want this whole entire crypto ecosystem to get along, but unfortunately that's not going to happen because we're humans and humans are stupid. But the fact that Gary Gensler dropped the investigation on Ethereum and just completely blindly attacked XRP, I have no idea why. And none of it makes any sense, any way, shape, or form. Now, we do have some pretty negative news for XRP over here, which sucks. World's first spot XRP crashes almost 10% in a week. This is the world's first spot XRP ETF, and it dumped 10% in the debut week amid market volatility. US SEC delayed the XRP ETF decision to June 2025. Possibly tied to the Ripple case. Once again, I think once they approve one crypto spot ETF, multiple will get approved. That's why I think altcoin season in quarter 3, quarter 4, and the approval odds is sit at 74% as XRP futures ETFs await May launch. So when this thing was launched, it dumped, which kind of sucks. And it's Brazil's spot XRP ETF. So not exactly sure what's going to happen in America with that happens. I'm not really sure on Brazil's market, but it is important to know. And since we're on the same topic of ETFs, Bitwise files for a NEAR ETF. So we're going to be getting more and more. Just really quickly, I do want to see if NEAR is made in the USA. Very, very curious. Is it? Yep, NEAR is made in the USA, so it makes sense that a spot ETF was filed. Now, let's go ahead and talk about another made in the USA project, HBAR. So there's some new EVM updates for Wallet Connect, Hashpack app, ERC20, Saucer Swap Labs, which is going to be the DEX for Hedera. Then they have Fireblocks HQ EVM and Copper HQ EVM. So HBAR, Hedera is major EVM. Let's actually tweet that because it's funny. I think I tweeted that anyways. But HBAR is just chilling, just working, getting stuff done. Great, fine, fantastic. We love it. And again, there are other ones that are on the list to get the USA ETF, spot ETFs approved, made in America. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this from Watcher Guru. Treasury Secretary Besson says, we believe the U.S. should be the premier destination for digital assets. This came out yesterday. Let's go ahead and listen to the clip. I want to know what kind of digital assets he is talking about.
Yes, sir. We believe that the United States should be the premier destination for digital assets, and as members of this committee and the Senate are attempting to do, create good market structure around that, so that U.S. best practices are used around the world.
And that's really the point, right, is having American U.S. best practices to sort of set the pace for others to follow, rather than us trying to fill in the holes that others that may be created by as others set that pace.
Yes, sir. And also, that digital assets are an important source of innovation that will drive that can drive usage of the U.S. dollar around the world, as with stablecoin legislation. There is speculation that there may be up to $2 trillion of demand over the next few years for U.S. government securities from digital assets.
My time has expired, but I'll send you my question regarding Chinese death.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this really quickly. Basically, they're focusing on digital assets. Digital assets equals RWAs. That's why I tell you to pay attention to coins that are made in America that are RWA focused. Why does it matter? Well, it matters is because what this man just said, the Treasury Secretary, they're also talking about stablecoins. Again, unless you're an accredited investor, all this stablecoin regulation isn't going to do anything super great for us. It's actually going to be detrimental for us. It's going to create a larger wealth gap. But again, this is just more confirmation on the importance of RWAs. Now, let's go ahead and get into the next clip over here. This is going to be from Treasury Secretary. Digital assets are an important source of innovation that will drive the usage of the U.S. dollar.
And also, that digital assets are an important source of innovation that will drive that can drive usage of the U.S. dollar around the world, as with stablecoin legislation. There is speculation that there may be up to $2 trillion of demand over the next few years for U.S.
$2 trillion of demand. Basically, what they're doing, they're just kind of really trying to push through the Genius Act, the Stablecoin Act, and they're trying to put everything on chain. But again, the things that they're putting on chain is not necessarily going to be public and open. Now, let's talk about ECB, the European Central Bank. They partner with private sector through Digital Euro Innovation Platform. Again, when we're talking about utilization of blockchain technology, it is going to be private. It's going to be all private. You're not going to have access to see it any way, shape, or form. But basically right here, this is a CBDC, and this is coming out of the European Central Bank. This is why they don't want a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and they're not pro-crypto any way, shape, or form, because they're very much so bullish on the CBDCs. Participants include banks, fintechs, merchants, and startups, and they're testing tech and future use cases. Financial report with results will be published later this year. ECB sees strong interest and potential for EU payment innovation. Again, CBDCs are not payment innovation. That's what they're going to be used for, and they're going to be predatory, but I digress. Now, Visa doubles down on stablecoins with investment in blockchain payments firm BVNK. And they raised $50 million from Han Ventures, Coinbase Ventures, and Tiger Global. Coinbase is a massively invested in Circle. Now, Visa wants to stay ahead in digital payments through such partnerships. Stripe, PayPal, and Visa are all adopting Stable S. Again, more CBDC stablecoin news, which is not great. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what we can expect today at the Fed meeting. Or actually, this is about This is the Genius Act. I don't even want to talk about the Genius Act because I'm getting really sick of it. We keep talking about it and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyways, though, let's talk about what we can expect from the Fed. So the Fed meets with uncertainty. Here's what is happening in the air, what we can expect. So some of my notes over here. High uncertainty from tariffs and mixed economic signals. Low odds of rate cuts in May or June, which if anything, they need to cut rates significantly to help sustain American economy, to lower costs to borrow money and to buy homes. There's not a shortage of houses in America. There is a shortage of money from the middle class to be able to afford these things. Market expects fewer cuts in 2025. Powell likely to stress the patience and data dependence at press conference. He's going to speak today at 2:30 p.m. ET. And analysts predict rate cuts may begin July, September if data weakens. And you know what? I think the only way that they're going to be able to get themselves out of this mess that they created is going to be with rate cuts. And on that note, I am gone for the day. I will drop a video for you guys once we get some updates on the what is it called? The interest rates. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, set alerts, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.